Hello, 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 and it's coffee time where we go and look at the news on the Daily Mail website. First story. This is the top story. This is an interesting one. This is the story of a grandmother who kept her terminal diagnosis of cancer a secret from her family for 21 years. Yeah, Rosie Gamp from Edgware died from a separate illness, aged 90, in April 2021. And she issues with her husband, and it was only after she died and that her husband revealed that back in 1999, revealed to the family that the doctors had given her a death sentence of breast cancer. But, and this is the clever thing, they'd put her on a trial, a cancer drug trial, which basically saved her life. This drug, again, I think got it here, Arimidex, is now proven to stop breast cancer, and it gave her extra years of life. Now, her family did not know this. He explained his decision to keep her prognosis a secret. He said, "I didn't think she could take it." Right, so he never even told his wife. He kept it away from. He kept it secret from her. But yeah, he managed to keep his wife's prognosis a surprise. Melvin revealed that the surgeon ran the family's house phone, intended to share the heartbreaking news directly with Rosie. Under medical guidelines, doctors should ask for consent before disclosing personal information about any patient, including someone's spouse. But Melvin said, I was in the kitchen when the phone rang. It was the surgeon with the devastating news. He said, although the op had been successful, she had an operation for the cancer. 9 out of the 12 sample lymph nodes were affected, and there was nothing else they could do. It was a death sentence. I nearly collapsed. But he didn't feel he could tell his wife. Right? He just said it was a surgeon on the phone and that they didn't have her results yet. But instead, she ended up going on the trial and living for another 21 years. And here they are, in happier times. And it was only after she died that the whole story came out. And he says, I don't think the kids are going to be too pleased with him because he kept it a secret to himself. Now there is a story. There is a story. Meanwhile, as we reported on, was it Friday, Alexei Navalny, one of Putin's biggest vocal critics, the guy with the Novichok underpants, he was well, let's be honest, he was murdered. He was. I don't think it was that nice, Mr. Putin, though, because he's a stand-up, honest guy, isn't he? But anyway, his widow Yulia Navalny has vowed to carry on her husband's good fight. It ain't going away, but it's not going to change again. I've heard commentators talk about, Putin's going to have a hard time of it now. No, he's not. He's just going to carry on. They don't understand the mentality. He's ex-KGB. The world revolves around him, and he will not falter until somebody gets rid of him, either in a good way or in a bad way. Or are you one of those Brits that are suffering from type 2 diabetes? Yeah, apparently 1 million people in England are living with undiagnosed even, sorry. My brain is not connected to my mouth at the moment because my tummy is gurgling. Survey data suggests that 7% of over 16 show evidence of the condition, but a third are not diagnosed. This is coming out of the ONS, that's the Office for National Statistics. Younger people with the condition were more likely to be undiagnosed. People who have type 2 diabetes were less likely to be diagnosed if they were otherwise good health. And this is what happened to me. It was only, again, there's a little thing. I mean, my story was I didn't show any of the symptoms, thirst, going to the toilet in the night, these kind of things. And it was only after I had one of the vid vaccines, well, both the early ones, made my heart want to leave my chest. And the second time, it was so bad that I thought I was dying, and it really, really affected me to the point where I thought, something really bad had happened. I went to the doctors and they did a heart scan. Everything turned out fine. Did ECG because by then everything had calmed down. But they did a blood test on me, and that's how they found out that I was type 2 diabetic. And yeah, and here is like 5 million Brits now have diabetes. Now, again, they don't talk about this, but they reckon there could be a link between COVID and the rise in diabetes, because they reckon it affects all the organs, including the pancreas. So it's not very good. The ONS findings were based on the Health Survey for England 2013 to 2019 statistics, which saw 8,000 adults and 2,000 children quest on their health every year. Just under 1 million people are thought to have undiagnosed type 2 diabetes, while 5.1 million were estimated to have pre-diabetes. So there you go. I won't go on about that because I hate having diabetes and I resent it. I resent my illness. I resent it. Don't drink, don't smoke, have a fairly decent diet, get plenty of exercise, walk between 45 to 50 miles a week. And when I asked, how can this be? The diabetic nurse said to me, sometimes these things just happen. And it's like, now I could have understood it years ago, like many years ago, when I was in my late 20s, when I was drinking too much and eating the wrong food and stuff. But when I had the kids, I cleaned my act up. So there we go. Anyway, that's enough about me. Squirrels. What is that? I don't know if this is squirrels or... Maybe we'll keep that till the animal story at the end, just in case. Meanwhile, we've got rough justice news. This is the story of an ex-driver who's suffering with dementia. He's 83. This pensioner has severe dementia. He stopped driving 2 years ago. But he's been prosecuted by the DVLA under the controversial Single Justice Procedure. That's SJP, and it's very... oh God, you can get it through car tax, TV licence. It's all done behind closed doors and you don't tend to hear about it. But anyway, the 83-year-old kept his classic red 1975 MG in his garage despite quitting driving because of his dementia. But on the 11th of October last year, the pensioner was moved into a care home, and the very next day he was accused by the DVLA of letting his car insurance lapse. Really? In response to a single justice procedure, his daughter sent a letter explaining her father's health and also informed the DVLA he was living in a care home. But due to the way the controversial court procedure operates, DVLA did not look at the evidence presented by his daughter and eventually received a criminal conviction. I guess this is Tristan Kirk is reporting on this at the Evening Standard, because he's Tristan Kirk. Now you should follow him on Twitter. This guy is a fucking warrior, and he looks into, again, the actual story broke on the Standard. And Tristan Kirk, he covers all this stuff, especially the TV licence. A lot of this stuff goes TV licence news, where disabled or poor, even elderly who don't have access to the internet and whatnot get prosecuted, and it's fast track system, and they very, very rarely listen to any mitigating circumstances. And frankly, it should be closed down. But it's all down again. This is the result of COVID, because they want to get all the backlog through. Yeah, she explained. The daughter explained that her father wouldn't have the capacity to remember to insure the car. She explained, his daughter has a power of attorney, and the vehicle was in a secure garage off premises, so it was even off road. My goodness! If it was what's known as sawn, and it's off road in a garage, shocking. But yeah, the DVLA confirmed that they had not seen a letter of mitigation. Eventually, the pensioner was given an absolute discharge by magistrates, which means he faces no fine or other punishment. But again, if his daughter hadn't been there to fight his corner, it could have escalated. And we go from one rough justice to another. Luckily, that was cleared up. This case is not so clear cut. This is the story of Gabriela Rodriguez, and she's a former cleaner, and she was working for corporate law firm Devonshire's in London, and she's suing them because, well, she claims that she was fired for eating a sandwich. Yeah, here she is. But yeah, she was reportedly sacked after taking and eating one of the leftover tuna sandwiches that were left after a board meeting. Again, for those of you who have never been in an office meeting, they often put a spread on. I remember those days, and there'd be sandwiches, and drinks, and maybe fruit. And afterwards, there's usually a lot of leftovers. I guess their procedure was to bin it all. Them's the rules. And Miss Rodriguez broke those rules and stole a sandwich. Now, again, the firm that she was contracted to, Total Clean, received a complaint by Devonshires that the leftover sandwiches were not being returned. She was then let go for taking client property without authority or reasonable excuse. And now she's suing for unfair dismissal. And again, she's being represented by United Voices of the World. It's a union. This sandwich cost no more than £1.50, they claim. And yeah, they're making banners for her. Now, again, rules are rules, and in this wasteful, again, it's, oh God, you know what rules are like. You shouldn't break the rules. But we live in this incredibly wasteful world, and yeah, and she shouldn't have been fired. She should have just got a warning, a verbal warning. Come on, it's ridiculous, ridiculous. Meanwhile, this is a court battle that's going on at the moment. This is the story of a 94-year-old millionaire, Robert Harrington. He died in May 2020, just months after marrying his carer, Gui Xiang Quinn. Miss Quinn is a trained lawyer from China, and the 54-year-old who married the 94-year-old, she was acting as his carer, and they married. I wonder what she saw in the millionaire, the millionaire 90-year-old. But yeah, she's now being sued by Mr. Harrington's daughter, Jill Langley, after being accused of exerting undue influence on him in order to steal his fortune. Here she is. That's Xiang Quinn walking to the central London court. And we've got the daughter. And here's the daughter, who is challenging her authority. Lawyers for Miss Langley presented bank statements at Central London County Court, and they claimed it showed that Miss Quinn took nearly every penny Mr. Harrington had between October 2018 and May 2020. And then she was also accused of dumping him in the cheapest possible grave after his death. So yeah, this is an ongoing case. It's one of those, you read about this all the time, where older people who have a lot of money or property fall in love and marry external forces. And yeah, this is his home in King's Lynn in Norfolk. It's also up for dispute, so I have to keep an eye on that one. Who will win? Oh, some horrible stories there. A lot on the BAFTAs, but nobody cares about the BAFTAs. Uh, Actually, we have another animal story that I can do. That means I can. Oh my goodness. Right, this is bonkers. I'm going to show you this. This is. This is in Ingatestone in Essex. It's a notorious ford that often gets flooded. And what you're seeing there is a fireman on his phone saying the fellow in the car's fine. Right. He watched a trapped driving instructor's car sink in 4 foot of floodwater and commented that, he's fine. Because the Essex Fire rescue crews are not allowed to go in anything higher than waist high in water. So filmmaker Jamie Price and his partner, instead they waded into deep water and rescued the motorist because they thought he was going to die. Meanwhile, 2 Essex Fire and rescue crews, an ambulance and police car were parked near the stricken vehicle, but they wouldn't enter the water because they had to wait for specialist crews who were trained for the depth of water. Mr. Price said, I thought he was going to die. I thought the man was trapped into his car up to his chest. I knew for a fact the water was freezing cold. He'd obviously been there for some time waiting for the fire brigade. He said, I noticed that the driver was still in there after the fire crews turned up. He said, why is there a fireman standing beside him on the radio leaning against the fence? So here is Mr. Price and his partner helping the poor sod out of his car. Really? I mean, there could have been a fatality there. Here he is actually getting the car door open. Well, there you go. Ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. And here they are leading the poor bloke out because, hey, the firemen ain't going to do it. Oh dear. And look, here they are. Look, they're walking them. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Walking them past the fire crew that were, we can't go in, it's a bit deep. It's a bit deep, isn't it? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Meanwhile, Apple are facing a £427 million fine from the EU, of course, because the EU is just about money. It's all about making money. It's not the great socialist enterprise that some people have you believe. It's a protectionist racket. Because apparently they block iPhone apps from telling users about cheaper music services. Well, Apple are gonna promote their own music service because it's their own platform. It's not. Why would you promote an opponent's cheaper music service on the platform that you've spent billions and billions of dollars to fucking develop? This is the insanity of the EU. It's like it's absolute bollocks. It's like owning a record shop, right? And being fined for not having an advert in the window saying the record shop down the road is cheaper. That's the equivalent. That is the equivalent. Oh, fuck me. Anyway, it's all about making money. You knew that though. What else have we got? Meanwhile, this is woke news. Yeah. Tasha Burke, she runs a shop called Bookmark. It's a second-hand bookshop in Falmouth, and she's run it for over 20 years. Here she is, with all her books. And she's revealed that those pesky Generation Zers have tried to get her bookshop closed down, tried to get her cancelled. Um, she claims that woke students have come into her shop to check if her collection is racist. And the 58-year-old blasted them for being blatantly rude to her when they come in and for taking photos of books just to buy them later online. Well, that goes with the territory. But she argued that the growth of Falmouth University is to blame for a number of issues in the area because it allowed the number of students it enrolls each year to double since 2010. She said, I've had students come in and tell me that I can't have books on suicide and slavery on display. One boy was taking photos of a book. He said, and I said to him, I hope you're not going to buy that cheaper online. And he said he was just checking to see if it was racist. But everything's racist now. She said, as a trader, I've never been more depressed because of the way young people are quite rude to me. It's not all of them. Most of them nice people, but I've had students come in and tell me I can't have books on suicide and slavery on display. Well, what you want to do is put a few copies of Ellen Joyce's trans book up, and then you will see steam come out of all their orifices, because that'll really get them going. Oh well, we're doomed as a species. What else have we got? Well, here we go. Let's go to Pontefract in West Yorkshire. Oh, I'm demonetised. Let's have a look. What's going on? And in the red corner, we have a taxi driver. In the blue corner, it's a cyclist. And I think the taxi driver's taking him down. He's taking him down. Yeah, this was captured, a heated brawl. Where a cyclist was confronted by an irate taxi driver. Yeah, the fight broke out for unknown reasons. Look, he's a cyclist. He needs a good hiding. I'm with the man in white. Remember, well, it's obvious though. It's obvious, right? See, you got the man in white. He's obviously the good guy, and the man in black, he's the villain, isn't it? Yeah, good guys always wear white. Hey, we got a pothole story. Of course we have. Why not? Why not? We're going to the town. Is it a town or a village? It's a village of Maltby, which is on the border of North Yorkshire. And they feel that these irate villagers, oh, excellent. Are they furious or are they just irate? I want them to be furious. Let me see. No, they're actually they feel neglected by the council as they continue to watch the state of their roads. We've got one with their arms folded. Yes. 1, 2. We've got 2. He's got his hands in his pockets. So 3 with that. What's that? Is that irate? Hands in your pockets, fury, and the fellow at the end, he couldn't give a fuck. He's got a stick. He couldn't give a fuck. So yeah, potholes. And this is Maltby. Looks delightful, but you won't want to go there because it's full of potholes. Let's have a look. Oh, they're tiny compared to the ones we've got around here. They're little baby potholes. But yeah, the locals. That's on High Lane in Maltby, and the locals say they're getting worser and worse. And this is where Maltby is, so that you know where to avoid. All right, you know where to avoid it. And the locals are moaning. Christopher Davis said that the potholes have progressively got worse and worse. Maltby is terrible now with traffic. All the places in the village and the country, it shouldn't be here. So it's so bad with the road servicing. The pothole has become a really big bugbear. Cars are lifting the stones and they're getting flipped up. I go every morning to sweep up the drive. It's just annoying. Well, move. Just move. Meanwhile, he goes on to say it's become like the M25. Don't think it has, mate. I don't think you've ever been on the M25. I don't know, it looks quite delightful. It looks a bit more like the surface of the moon there, doesn't it? So yeah, that's some pothole stories there for you. All we need is some Japanese knotweed. Good news, everybody. a dead European satellite weighing 5,000 pounds will crash back to Earth this week, but no one knows where it's going to land. This is ERS 2, which blasted off from French Guiana in 1995. It weighs about the same as an adult rhinoceros. So if you get hit by it, at least you'll know what it feels like to be hit by an adult rhinoceros entering the atmosphere. It'll be fine. It'll just land in the sea. Who wants to see a wristwatch, right, that stopped when the US dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima? Here it is. Look at that. The good news is it's right twice a day, so you know. Anyway, it's up for auction. Really? Yeah. So yeah, it stopped when America dropped a bomb on Hiroshima in 1945, and they reckon it could fetch at least £16,000 at auction. And the melted timepieces hands are frozen at 8:15, the moment the bomb named Little Boy had been dropped from the Enola Gay. Enola Gay, you better know today. So it's OMD. So yeah, there you go. And here's a picture of the aftermath of the attack, so we never forget, eh? The things we do to other humans. Oh, there's another animal story there. Mind you, I think we've. Oh God, there's another one. We've got loads. I might have to save some. This is a cornucopia of animal fun. Meanwhile, we was talking about a satellite falling to Earth. There's a new satellite that's going up called the Lignosat. There's a clue there. There's a little clue there, and the Lignosat is unique, and it's made out of timber. Yeah. And they're doing this to combat space pollution. So instead of there being a great big hunk of metal up in the atmosphere, it's a great big hunk of wood instead. I suppose it'll burn up. It's going to be made of magnolia wood and about the size of a mug. There you go. This is an artist's impression because it hasn't gone up there yet, from Kyoto University. So there you go. Wooden satellites. Isn't it marvellous? Isn't it marvellous? There you go. And this is what the magnolia looked like before it was transformed into a satellite. Lovely, lovely. What else have we got? I could do that tomorrow. I think there's so many. I'm not going to show that one. Anyway, shall we just do an animal story? So I just got carried away. I was just scrolling down. Right. Okay. Let's go to the animal story. Which one should we go for? I've got a couple. I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. That's funny. We'll just do this one. Here we go. Just need to zoom in here. This is CCTV footage caught in Oban in Argyll and Bute in Scotland on Friday, February the 17th. It was taken. The CCTV footage is taken in a pub, and Can you tell me what happens next? So there's the dog. He's having a great time, and he accidentally sets off the fire extinguisher. Oopsie, oopsie. Should we see that again? Ready? The dog's excited. Let's see. He gets excited. He jumps up and accidentally knocks the fire extinguisher off the wall that then sets itself off. Fantastic. And yeah, everyone's. I think they all need a new pint after that. So there you go. That was a bit of fun there for you. Yeah, the dog's lead yanked the fire extinguisher safety catch and set it off, knocking it off the wall. Yeah, so a funny accident there. So let's see if there's anybody in. Let's see if there's anyone in. 6 people in. Oh, Noah's liking it tonight. Everyone's on holiday. Clive's in. He says hi. Happy Monday indeed. And Wilf's in. He says morning. And Vasana says good day. And that's it. It's all over for another week. Well, for another day. The beginning of another day, for the start of another week. And thankfully my stomach settled, so I didn't have to run away. And that was the news. Thank you for watching. Killing the channel, one video at a time. You know you've got to drink out. Ta-ta.